Collegiate athletics to me is a space where people can come and bond, and not only just bond, but compete in a sport or an event that they all love.
Collegiate esports to me is basically like a major part of my life and probably one of the biggest reasons why I'm at Roosevelt to begin with. Aside from the fact that athletics and scholarships, I'm a very competitive person and I've been playing League of Legends for basically a majority of my life since 2010, and I'm 24 now.
Collegiate esports means that I have to balance the fact that I am a esports competitor as well as a student. So that means that on any given day I can be talking about competitive strategy, what I have to do for our matches that week, but also how am I going to get my homework done that night, what tests do I have to be studying for. So it's a lot of balancing, it's a lot of lines that have to be towed, and so it means that I have to think about a lot of factors, not just competing or not just being a student.
I think with a lot of performance-based things, at least for someone like me, I am very much like, how am I doing? How am I helping out my team? I can see and understand why, especially if you're not performing at the level you expect yourself to be at, or the same level your teammates are, you're just naturally going to decline, like in terms of confidence, sort of like self-belief.
I know for me, and to me especially, college athletics can affect your mental health by putting a lot of stress on your brain. Or let's say you're very stressed out about a specific homework assignment or a match that's coming up, and you don't know how you're going to manage it all, or it's just too much for you. It's something that definitely eats at the person's brain.
Improving mental health to me means focusing on promoting healthy habits, not just encouraging that people are in the esports lab day to day, but also that they are eating well, going to the gym, taking care of themselves physically, and promoting positive self-talk. You know, the way that we talk to ourselves really matters when it comes to our mental health. So if we can nip it in the bud and just catch these negative patterns, we can really turn around our mental health for ourselves.
Well, what that means to me is finding something in your life that can have a soothing effect on your mind, or something that makes you happy or calms you. Like for me, I love music. I listen to music. I play music. It's stuff that keeps me calm and it just gets me through my day.
So for me personally, I have multiple diagnosed mental illnesses, the most notable being borderline personality disorder. And for me, improving my mental health is being able to manage the sort of mood swings that I go through my life, so that way I have some sorts of normalcy in my life. While I don't expect myself to be perfect, because obviously nobody is, I do hope that at some point I will be able to function as perfect as I can possibly be to whatever that form is in that time of my life. I try to be, I guess, the very sunshine, to make sense like that. I try to be like that sort of like motivator for people, like even if they're down or like they're not feeling confident in themselves, I will try my best to like boost up their self-esteem or like their worth. I think that being the person that everyone can talk to, being likable, being like sort of like easy to get along with does a lot, especially in team environments, so that way you know nobody has that extra stress of like, oh, I have to talk with this guy again.
One thing I do is I tell my friends to have affirmations, like morning self-affirmations, affirmations throughout their day, it doesn't matter. Like telling yourself, hey, you're good at what you do, keep on going, you're awesome. Affirmations to keep the mental health up, and obviously to keep your own mood up.
In my daily life, I try to encourage my fellow competitors, whether it's on my team or on other teams, to be aware of what's affecting them mentally. You know, if you had a rough day at work, then you're going to be carrying that into your games. Esports doesn't have the luxury of being physical exertion and mental exertion. Most of it's mental for us, so we really have to make sure that we're keeping on top of it, that we are taking care of ourselves mentally. So I encourage people to take breaks. You know, if they've been having a long gaming session, try to ensure that they are eating in between those, eating healthy snacks. But really just, I try to make sure that people are aware of it so then they can think about what that looks like for themselves.
I take care of my mental health kind of in a similar way, like I mentioned before, with music and listening to it. But in other ways, I tend to distance myself, per se, from other people as a way to recollect on myself and just have some time to myself.
Personally, I take care of my mental health by trying to have a separation between when I'm competing and when I'm relaxing. So I have set hours where I'm thinking about League of Legends, where I'm trying to improve strategically, but there's some hours where I am just Leswin, the boyfriend who watches romantic comedies with my girlfriend and am only thinking about like team fight tactics, other non-competitive games. But I do try to have that separation because for me, I really do want to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward when I'm competing, but then also allowing myself the grace when I'm not competing.
For me, I have a bit of an ongoing joke with the esports community here, the looks maxer, the taking care of your appearance. But I do firmly believe that if I go to the gym, I work out, I eat healthy, I do skincare, do my best to present like myself as best I possibly can, it naturally boosts my self-esteem and confidence because I know that I'm at least doing something every day, even if it's little, to slowly get myself better in that regard. I do also believe that the best way to get rid of that low funk I'm in is to not let myself wallow in it for too long. I think that being sad is okay, but staying sad is not. So I'll try everything in my best efforts to alleviate any sort of stress in my life that I can do directly.
When it comes to spreading awareness about mental health, especially for student athletes, I think the biggest thing is just having the conversation. There's a lot of times where we try to avoid the elephant in the room and we see that someone's struggling, but we don't really want to address it, or we just pat them on the back and say, you'll get them next time, you'll figure it out. Have the conversation with your teammates, have the conversation with your coaches, have the conversation with the support staff around you, and really lean into the people that are around you because they're there for a reason.
Definitely don't be afraid to talk about it, because sometimes bottling up those emotions aren't the best way to go about things. I know that things get rough and things are hard, but sometimes it's just better to talk it out and let people know that I need help with this, because sometimes having a shoulder to cry on is what everybody needs.
Some of these topics are often stigmatized, and it's very difficult to express yourself or feel that you are known or heard. That is not true. Everyone here at Roosevelt University, all the esports athletes I know for a fact are heard. Everyone is cared for. We all love each other. And if you don't believe that right now, I'll say it to you. I love you.